Welcome to Object-Oriented Game Design. Welcome back to Game Design Part 5. I did create a new project here. Yeah, I did create a new project and copy all this in, and then my computer crashed for 5 hours, and here I am. After those 5 hours, I still need the sprites and icons. So straight in there with the new project, fixing it up. That's the res folder, isn't it? Alright, so because I've still got this screen class open here from last time, this is how we left it last time. And because I've just started Netbeans, it's going to take a while to come in, so I'm going to try and fix some of these errors in the meantime. Let's see. Game is referencing something wrong. A couple of things wrong. Here and there. That's 5. That's 5. That's 5. That's 5. Alright, save that if it'll let me. While it's running. And it's open minimized. As you can see, my computer's a bit slower than normal today. There we go, we got a 110 frames average. Okay, and this is where we left it last time with the key movement. Although we didn't fix the sprites yet, we did get the image to show up. I found something the other day that can help draw a translucent image or a see-through image, and I'm going to try some of that today. Hoping to build a level class, maybe get into a bullet class and a POW, just so we can get something on the screen and check collisions following that. But as you can see, my computer's being a bit slow today, so we'll have to see how far we get. Alright, so the game's got a few more errors, it's telling me. I've still not copied the methods into Game Design 5 yet, so that's one of those. Input tick. I think that's got a misreference to an import, and again with the screen. So moving on, we need if it's still open. These are yesterday's, so close all these. I say yesterday's, it's been about 3 days since I've done a recording, so because my computer has been that bad. Right, so we need all this code in including the imports all the way down to that bracket. And then we can close that and open that. And again, just down to those brackets and paste. And it's not 4 anymore, it's 5, so we need to change these so we don't get those errors. And do the same on the constructor. And I think that's it. We've got a few imports that might be wrong. No, it's the class name. Okay. No, that should be right. And the ones in game should disappear as well. But no, we still got one. Is an import error. So, did we do a menu last time? I'm surprised. I didn't realize we did a menu. Yeah, yeah, I have copied the right package in now. So game should have a reference to the right packages. Yep, number 5. It's not that. Okay. What about in here? Have we got a dodgy reference here? No. Menu. Menus re referencing package 4. It should be package 5 again. Key input still the same. File, save. GUI main menu. It's got 2. And graphics, it's got a few. Screen and texture. All referencing game in the wrong package. Alright. Key input. Still got a bad reference out. The player tick. Where's player? We haven't finished it yet. Same here, dodgy imports. The files that don't exist. Alright. Then we got all green, right? Nope. Player's got a problem. They show balance, so that's in game design 5, not 4. And I think that's the lot. Yep, no error showing, and that's how we left it yesterday. Keep saying yesterday, last time. Right, since last time, I've done not much on the modeling or the mind map front, but I did extend this, although I've not added the added into the programming yet. So I started in front of Photoshop the other day for about 5 hours, and I designed the game in Photoshop. The reason I did this was to extend the sprite sheet for one, but I also want to get an idea for the levels and the characters in the game as far as player and enemy. I'm not happy with the Pac-Man, so our main character is going to be a little plane, a little crop duster plane, and the enemies are going to be saucers, flying saucers. So this should be a fun game. The final sprite sheet that I figured out was we got the up and down with the plane, the left and the right with the plane probably won't use. We'll probably use some sort of tilted animation for left and right because planes don't turn, do they? They glide or they pitch. We got a damage plane 1 and a damage plane 2 and some explosions for above the damage planes, which will animate obviously. Got a player bullet, excuse my drawing, I couldn't think of anything to go with this plane, so we've got an alien bullet on the plane. That's a shadow for the UFO, the saucer, and this is saucer A, B. Doesn't really matter which direction you move, they're all going to look the same like that, although I could put a tilt on these in a 3D program if I made a 3D version of it. That's the fire, which I still need to do a fire for the plane, and that's damage 1 and that's damage 2, and these are explosions for the top of the damage. Right, so after that we've got the POW, 2 images for red, 2 images for yellow, 2 images for green, and extra life. So these are the sprites that I built up here. We've got a couple of bullets to test the bullet system out. We've got the characters. the player and the enemies that we can throw in once we get those classes sorted out. And then we've got the power system at the bottom here as well, and the explosion system as well. So we've got all the sprites that we might need to get started on this game, but we're just not there yet. As far as the titling goes, uh, planes and sources there in the middle. I've done a few different versions of that, with and without. I forgot what that's called. Word art. Used to be called word art. And some without it. It's when we render them in Java. Um, we're going to want them on different screens, so they're going to be wanted different sizes and different shapes as well. If I was designing a cover for this game, like in a CD box, I'd certainly use something like that. I might not have the power there, I'd probably put it out of the way. But yeah, so I've got a few versions of the text there. The cloud layer has got two variations. There's going to be a lower cloud and a cloud layer above. So the player and the enemies will drift underneath one layer of cloud, and another layer of cloud will drift underneath those. If that makes any sense. Alright, get rid of the POW and the extra life, and the invader 2. So this is the level design I'm looking at. Just very basic at the moment. We've got a sea underneath, a few islands, and the lower cloud layer, which will drift one way, and the upper cloud will drift another, and hoping that that will do. But these need to be extended in the height by I don't know, 5 or 10 times the height of our Java application, just so they can scroll through during the level. And this game is going to be a Y scroll. I may do a version as well, or a level even, doing an X scroll, but we'll see how we go on them. Bear in mind that you have to decide X scroll or Y scroll before you start creating sprites. You don't want a sprite that's going the wrong way. So, but I have got X and Y sprites there, and I can add a few more. So depending on how you want it to do the game, if you want an X scroll or Y scroll. But the scroll of the level should really work on time. It should scroll from one end to the other in a certain space of time, but we have to figure out what that time is for the speed and that. Or rather, we have to figure out the speed to get the time right. But yeah, so that's our clouds layer anyway. I've not really broke these down into anything else, but I started with the airplane, just built a few wings, and then the fuselage, and then worked on the tail and then the propeller. But that's the basic design of the main character in the game. And yeah, I didn't have any ideas about the bullets, so I just threw a couple of those in. I'll have to add some guns to this at some point, but for now, for testing purposes, that should be fine. Okay, and then we've got the crop duster explode top, which is in. Notice some of these are see-through, and I'm hoping to be able to draw them out in. I'm going to have to draw them out in Java in the same way, same with clouds as well. They're what do you call it? Alpha channel is enabled. That's the rear explosion of the plane. But the plane is supposed to be underneath, so damage A plane is there. That's with the explosion on top. If I take that off, that's what the plane looks like. Actually, it's been hit once, I think. Yep, and then we have the severely damaged plane, which is even more damaged. Onwards, we've got In fact, that should have been underneath, and then that on top, or the other one on top, and then it explodes on top of that. But these are supposed to be more seafood than this. Like the ray, you can see the tail through that. Yeah, we'll figure out the opacity and that. The exposed layers are separate, so I can get rid of some or animate different version. I've only got two versions at the moment for the explodes on top, and they will flash on the screen quite fast. Um, so it's good to have an explosion underneath the plane as well. I've not got a plane shadow yet. I still need to do that, and I haven't got a damage shadow either, so I might need to do that. Because of the environment, or the way I'll set the environment up anyway. The let's invade a fire in the bullet. That's the fire of the invader. Excuse me. Yeah, because what was I saying? The way I've set this up, we can get rid of the clouds and grass islands. Just take a look at the sea at the moment. That is actually supposed to have waves on. I don't know why that didn't turn up. But these waves can be animated along with the sea as well, or separate from the sea as well. So we're looking at layering lots of different images. Two for the very far background, the sea or the sand. Notice the waves work well with both. Um, then we've got the islands on top. So there's three layers of images. The islands I'm going to create randomly, I think, or maybe have a map that's red in, and then these are placed wherever on the map, and then we can just change the map. But then we've got the bottom cloud layer. That's also going to have to be animated. The islands can be animated with the background here, so some can be animated at the same speed. These waves, or maybe put them on a screen variably or randomly. But they may move at a different speed as well from the islands in the background layer. The clouds, these are going to move possibly diagonally downwards with another layer diagonally upwards, which will be the top layer. If I can find it. Clouds top. So if I just grab that, these will move one way. We'll have a few more than three, obviously. But then the others will move the other way, and they do actually, you can see through them, but we'll have to work on the opacity when we print them out, so bear that in mind. But yeah, we've got them all set ready. But I do need to redo the icons. So it's no longer GD1, it's going to be planes and sources. Or an icon for planes and sources, so I need to update that. But that's the sort of game we're looking at the moment. Sort of a 1942 spin-off, or 50s version of 1942 spin-off. Alright, so into the code then. This is where we left off yesterday. We need to grab a few of those images off Photoshop to start working with. I've not printed anything out. But let's get some code down first. I'm going to start with the level. And I'm sure one Mars today, so bear with me, this will be slow. Alright, so level's going to need constructor with the level number. I've got a few other things there. But yeah, this is how we left it yesterday. and the exit game still works, but we need a level, and you could say this is part of the game architecture, game logic, but we're doing game design, so I'm just going to put it in a package called level like the player. So source package, new Java class, called level, and then I'm going to put it in a package called level 2. And finish. Okay, just close these off. Won't need these for the moment. And get rid of some of these key input, main menu, screen I think we need open, texture will need open, player will need open. In fact, we just don't need menu. Right, so in the level, let's do this quick as I can. Public void level. It's going to take the argument of an int. It's going to be level number. Okay. Because we're creating a level or a no object, it's system art, print on, and then just whatever the object is, level. Oops. New level create. But because level's got the argument of level number, there's going to be different versions of level or different. Yeah. So let's put the level number in there as well. LVL, and then a space after the level. So it'll be new level 1 or new level 2 or whatever created. Just to keep track of that and so we know when it's called. Alright. And in this constructor we are going to need to set the level number for a start. So we need a variable called level number, and that's going to be equal to the parameter argument sent through. That's the first job done. But we also need a setup and initiate. So let's put those in there. Each level is going to need to be set up with different, what do you call it, different pattern of variables. Each level is going to have a player, an enemy variable, or set of variables. But they might, they're always going to be different throughout each level. Even if that's just increasing the number of enemies for each level to make the game gradually harder. Each level is going to have, a different value for the number of enemies. But it depends what kind of game you're making, really. Level can really encompass anything, or any patterns. Some games have an end and level boss, so you might have another class called end and level boss, and then when you finish the level, the normal level, you might start the new level boss. But yeah, onwards and upwards, we need a setup and in it. In the setup, we are gonna call public void setup. Oops. We're gonna set up the different levels in here, and I believe I use a switch to simplify this. Yep. So in the setup, if we just create a switch based on level number, which we just set above, and do a case 1, and then a break, and then do we need a default? We don't need a default because it's always going to be set, so we can just copy this down. Alright, I like to design games with a few levels, just so you can do a few different things, try out a few things. So I'm going to give this 8 levels, maybe 9. But bear in mind is what we got there. 2, 4, 6. We'll give it 6 levels for now. We can always extend this part later, but this is just to demonstrate how things work. So the level numbers 1 to 6. Do any of these, and inside here we're just going to have a separate setup, or setup level 1, and then be specific about the setup. It will only run one of these case statements each time we create a new level, but then it will move on to the actual setup that level, which is the easy way of doing it, separating the issue. So I'll just copy that down. Notice, we've only just done the constructor, and already we've got 10 different methods we need to create, but all in good time. So that'll be setup level 6, level 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, and we've still got red lines underneath those because none of them are created. The only ones created is setup. And we've got no comments in there, so let's throw a few of those in. Attributes. Still got the attributes to do now. Links and constructor. Why does that say texture? And again, that's not texture. It's level. And there's only one parameter. Oops. Level no. So these can go. Attributes, links, constructor. Now we need the public protocol, which is not in there either. Oh no. I've done really well in the comments then. Public protocol. And render. I'll leave that there on that. When was that? Alright. Fine. and get rid of that. Alright, so it's in return to what's in return? An entry from the ren map. Alright, back to level. Yeah, so attributes, we're gonna need at least an int for the level number. And that's in level class. Alright, so now we need to initiate, and we need to change that to sub. Get rid of those. Save. So we've done the sub. Not sure if we want to do the, yeah, we do the setup levels next and then the initiate after that. Guess the setup does come first before the initiate. The public void initiate. Be done now. Just copy this. Put all the setup level ones, the setup levels. Will all be before that. I know I could have just done a setup with an argument. But we've already got the argument on the switch, and the argument would only lead to a switch with the setup level happening in this case statement, which doesn't make any sense. It's a lot of lines of code in that case statement. So instead, I've abstracted each of these case statements out into a module of its own, which just makes sense to me. It'll go through the statement, pick a case that it matches, and then use the setup that it needs, leaving the rest alone. So this be sub 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we don't know exactly what's going on in these yet, but we do know each one is going to lead to a different set of variables, or a different set of the same variables. Number of players, number of lives, level background, that sort of thing. So, moving on. We also need a tick and a render in here. But let's see if I can find this initiate. Alright, so initiating the level. It may be a new level. It may be the first level 1 after you press play on the game. But it also might be level 2. Or you might have restarted the game during level 1 and you need to reinitiate certain things. First thing you want to do is clear the textures that have built up. Make sure I spell it right. In the maps, just so you can start afresh. And if you had any random clouds, you would want to clear them at the same time. So that'll be a clear all. But we're not at the clouds yet. So you know what I'm going to do there. It's common to be done now. We need to import the texture here as well, just so we can access the clear maps, but the clear maps and texture doesn't exist. You're joking. Oh, we didn't do a clear map, so that's something that needs to be created. But yeah, just to tidy things up. Okay. Along with the texture maps and the clouds, if we had a player one explodes, we need to get rid of those if there is any. So it's going to be an if statement there. Then inside the if statement will be a P1 explode. Yeah, these are going to be names of classes. And inside the class will be a clear all. And again, that's going to have a list or a map on that's going to be cleared during that. But let's play one explodes. We don't have those yet. And the check would be play one explodes. Dot get all the explode objects size and determine if that's greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, then clear all that exist. But we're not on player one explodes yet, so I'm going to have to comment that out. But that is what we'll do in the initiate of the level. We'll clear everything that already exists, ready to rebuild it in the setup, or later on in the initiate area. But there's a few of these, depending what we've got implemented. And this will be bullet explodes if we have any of those. So P1B explode, and they all need to be cleared. The next one will be enemy explodes, or N explode. And again, we'll want to clear all those. But in addition, when we're clearing the level, we don't want to start the level with any bullets on the screen either. So we're going to have to clear the bullets. Which is not explode, it's P1 bullet. Just so we start with a fresh list for the player at the start of the level. And again, that's the same check. Then it's just P1 bullet. Clear all. What else is there? Enemy bullets. So M bullet. M bullet. Okay. So here's where we get into the good stuff. If you had any barricades or like you're doing Space Invaders, you'd want to clear them at the start of the level as well, but we're not doing that in this case. We might want to clear the islands. We'll clear the clouds here. We might want to start with the first set of islands, so we don't know what we're going to call them yet, but they're going to be part of the level, same as the clouds, so we'll figure those out. But yeah, we'd also clear them in here. Now this will need to create a few more variables in game, because game really holds all the static logic. Level just sets it up to play with. we'll figure it out. So here we would game dot enemies and equals new enemy, which is a superclass of all the enemies, which you can use to create any of the enemies from, I guess, or initiate all the enemies from that one class, if there are dozens of them. So there's another class in the variable itself. In addition, we need to set up an explode system. So game explodes equals new explode, which again is a superclass to player one explodes and enemy explodes. Maybe even the bullet explodes as well. Then we need to set up the powers. Is that right? No, the bullets. Game bullets. And that'll equal new bullet. So all these different little systems are all going to be programmed up just to get it all working right. Or they've got to be commented out so it does work right. One or the other. Then finally on this part is the game.powers. And that equals new power, which we've already come across in player, was it? Maybe screen, where we're rendering out, I think it was screen. We didn't create enough enemy in there, did we? We're rendering the level, the powers and the enemies in here. So they do need to be created in the level, so they can be rendered before we can uncomment that. Okay, so there's a system we're setting up in the levels. We're going to have enemies in the levels. We're going to have some explode animations. We're going to have bullets that can be fired both by the player and the enemy. And we're going to have some powers that he can pick up to probably change the suit of the player or give him a few different guns or something like that. We'll figure out what the power means at a later date, but these are all different systems we've got to plug in. The enemies, we're going to have to do some maths for the AI. Maybe use the game pattern cat and mouse or ambush in a dogfight. The explodes are just going to be basic animations for when collisions are detected between bullets and enemies, or enemy bullets and the player. But the bullet class is where those collisions are going to be checked. It's alright putting collision detection in player and collision detection in enemy and all the rest of these. Bullets are really the only place you need to do the collision. Any collision detection in the player should just be limited to whether the player crashes into an enemy or not whether it's hit by a bullet. That should be determined by the bullet class. So let's get things straight there, and the powers are going to be randomly generated, probably from enemy explodes. If certain enemy explodes or a random enemy explodes, then a power is created, something like that. And the powers can be of different types. We've got the red, orange, and green, and we've got the extra life. So it's going to be 4 different powers as well in there. After we created the powers, though, we do need to initiate the enemies, and that's why enemy is a superclass. So we can initiate all the different classes of enemy when that's called. And I think that might be it for that. In here we can do 2 things. In fact, with the level we can either set up the images for the background, so we might have Let's just type these out. Cell background image. Some of these are static, some of them are animated. If you got a background image, it's either going to be the blue sea color or the brown sand color. But then on top, we need to set up the wave animation. Might not be an animation with the waves, might just be set up random waves or random wave images, because there'll be more than one, I think. What else did we say? We've got the islands then with, so it's gonna be set up random island image. Yes. Then above the island we need the lower clouds. They're going to be animated. So random animated lower clouds, which we're somehow gonna have to render before we render the player. If that makes any sense. I don't know. We're gonna do that, but the best way I can think of doing that is creating the player in the level class. So there's a reference to it in here that we can mess with. But these are the background image, so it's going to be sea or sand. Wave images can be both for sea or sand. They're two different colors. So it's again sea or the sand waves. Island images is going to be large and small. And lower class animation with alpha. These are going to have to be see-through. Is anything else on there? See-through waves. Oh, they're fine. Okay. So we've got up to from the background to the animated lower clouds. We will then put the player and enemy in there, and then we need the upper clouds. Okay, that's right. And they're going to be all different textures we're looking at here. What are these going to be? Level background image. Will be equal to texture. Don't get image. And then we'll need the path and file and but we're not there yet. So just copy this down. Random wave images. There's probably going to be a few of those, like I said, so put 2 in there for now. 2 in there. Alright, with alpha. I'm going to use G for the alpha, so these can be the same, but it's not a it's not an image. This will be low cloud anim, and it's going to be a new animation. and that's going to take a few arguments. And the first is duration, so 12, and then it's a list of textures. Uh, so however many cloud animations we want to randomize, put in a did that one. It's comma. I think that's right, but it's I don't think it's the get image. I'll have to check. Um, where would I find it? Yeah, it's just new texture, it's not get image in the animations. That's missing one of them. Right, so that's how you set up your animation for the lower cloud animation. Then we've got the upper cloud animation, which will be the same thing, different variable. Remember, lowercase for variables, uppercase for class names. Right, so this is going to be level background image and background waves image. Uh, right, C waves, and that's what it is. C waves and sound waves. Uh, then the island is going to be level island image small, level island image large. So it's starting to build a few more on the sprite sheet, or from the sprite sheet. We'll have to save our in the Photoshop and get the path names and set them up in resources. Don't know if these will all be on the sprites on level or a new package there, but we'll try and figure that out. Anyway, got a few classes and a few variables to sort out there as well. But again, we're not at this point yet. So some of these will have to get commented out. Alright, texture clear maps, that should exist. None of those exist just yet. And few of those, if any of those, exist at the moment. So let's just comment those out as well. You can create these classes instead of commenting them out if you really want to, but I want to create these classes on the fly at the same time as I'm ready to fill them in. So enemy is probably the next one we're gonna go to because it's got so many things that I relied on in this class. I'm just letting the code really do the walking and developing at the moment. Level background image, that's going to be a buffered image, so create a field out of that. Because we know we're going to need the waves, we'll filled out of that, and filled out of sound waves, and then the island images filled, filled. But these might have a few more to them. I might have 3 or 4 small islands and 3 or 4 large islands to choose from, which will be rendered at random for each level. Or like I said, we'll draw a map and then do it that way. Alright, so lower cloud animation. We do need a variable for each of these, but we don't have an animation class yet, so well, best to comment these out at this point. And again with that. And that would be a setup of the level class, I think, as far as the initiate. So let's just go through that. If I leave the clear maps and texture, it should be at the bottom, but I bet it's at the top. So, no, it's not even at the top. So in the middle of the attributes, great place to put it. Control end. Paste it there. And these are just gonna clear the maps. I want to get the language right that I've already written for this, so yeah, it's just text map, rem map, clear. Alright, make sure you spell it right. Oh well, yeah, when we figure out what it's called, we'll do it that way. Oh no, try that one. Right, so what do we call text map? TX map. There we go. Alright, so that's the clear maps. Just so it has to reload any of the images in straight away at the start of the level. Whatever you just started the level, if it's a new level or whatever. You start with some clear maps on the initiate level. Okay. Clouds clear all, that's going to be a similar operation. Enemy initiate is going to be subclasses initiated. And the images, regardless of the file names, is stacked in variables. So we did set these up before, didn't we? So set up level 1. In the wrong class. I might need a get level number on there or a set level number. Let's set background as well as the render. So after we've initiated, we need a system for setting up this, whether the background is sea or sand or any other creation I can make for a background. So we're going to go with the public static void set background. And that's going to take an index. And R index. and a background variable, background number even, equals the index. That way we can choose background 0 for the sea and background 1 for the sun, and then assign it to the background image, which is what we'll render out. But we'll have 2 images to choose from to be assigned to that, and they can be assigned during the setup, I believe. Yeah. Alright, so we need another variable there, but that bit's done. Set ground color, we don't need to do that. Unless our background was white, then we could paint blue pixels on for the sea and yellow or gold pixels on for sand, but we're not doing it that way. And this set background might turn into initiate tiles if we decide to do a tile thing. But I like the islands the way they are at the moment. If we tile things, we're limited to images the size of a tile. And if your tiles are going to be 512 by 512, you might as well just stick with images instead of tiles. So depends how we work. Yeah. Right. Initiate level 1. Level 1, we're going to be need to set up a few things in there, but I'm not sure how many apply to game architecture outside of this specific game I've got here. I'm working from the code of Space Invaders, which works pretty well, but uh, so okay, in level 1 you might wanna enemy set number of enemies. And you might have different waves of enemies throughout the level. Say 10 waves of enemies. And the first wave you might want 10 enemies spitting out, another 10 after that, 12 after that, 12 after that, and 8, and then the last might be a 0, 3 and a 4, just for randomness. But a 0, 3 and a 4, well, the 3 and the 4 might be harder to defend against than the 10s and the 12s. I don't know, maybe we'll set some up. Depends what the enemies are. Do something like a set ambush frequency as well. Or set attack. And again, if there's 10 different enemies, you might want different attack methods for each one. There might be a default attack like cat and mouse, but then there might be a cat and mouse might be zeros. And might have an ambush on 1. Then a tag team on 2 style attack, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. and that should set the enemies to attack in different methods using different game patterns or chase patterns, whatever you would call them. But again, this is just setting up the enemy classes in here for this first level. Um, After we've dealt with the enemies though, which obviously are going to need a few variables sorting out. The rest is power scale, which is to do with if you have a different size screen each time you play the game. So you would set the power scale there, but for power scale, just so we can scale draw the power, it's 0.75. So power scale, another variable, equals 0.75. Now that might change depending on the size of the images that we use, but yeah, we might need to scale it. Then will be the ground scale, the ground Y and ground X, but alright. So we can do background. X, the background start X equals 0. Background start Y was equal 0. And then we'll be using a Y offset, which will gradually increase. We'll add that to our tick. We should move our background. But with the background X and Y, we're going to need cloud X and Y's as well. Maybe islands as well. Then we need the waves. And a set of X and Y's for the islands. Let's say about the waves. Yeah. BG waves, C waves. Star X. Start Y. Some waves and some waves. Alright. Let's go to background, the waves, we need clouds, I think. Keep going the wrong way. Yep, the clouds are gonna fade in and fade out, I think. Once they're off the screen, so they do need to move. It's lower clouds. Star X. Lower clouds. Oops. Star Y. think that should be it. So level 1 will be set up with that number of different enemies. So you might have a class called enemy 0 and there'll be 10 enemy 0 characters flying at you, using the 0 attack method, whatever that turns out to be. It'll end up being a move and a fire method combined in some sort of algorithm, I think. But then you have the ambush where so many enemies will be generated at the same time to attack. So we'll figure it all out, don't you worry. So all these variables can be created, and then we can comment those out, I think. So let's do that first. In fact, we can actually create an enemy class out of level. Or at least create one and then add these to it. But I don't think there's much else in there apart from the setup. Setup level number, get level number even. Level name. So in the setups we can do the setup level 1. First thing we can do is level name equals level 1 name. And then we can have a get level name, just to get that out of the way after the initiate. Let's set background. So the public void public string get level name, but it might need to be static. Let's do it static just in case we need it somewhere else. A few more variables set there, a few more there. Trying to think what else level might be needed for, what might need to be set up. Alright, in the initiate, where's initiate? After we set all those images up and that, we need first tick equals true. Last tick equals false. And that brings us on to the tick and render. And tick doesn't have any arguments or variables. Player screen's got a tick, hasn't it? No, screen not got a tick. Screen's got a render. Wrong type of render, but we'll grab it anyway. So render would be in the, we don't want game, we want render. And target. And that's going to be need to be important. And we need a tick with no variables. So none of those are needed. All those. And inside the tick, we're just going to be ticking all the different objects, I think, depending if a menu is shown or not. Yeah, quite a few tick methods in there. So in the tick, this will be at the bottom of the tick. This will be without the enemy tick. Enemy explode tick. P1 tick. P1 explode tick. P1 bullet explode. Then we're going to need to tick the pals. Oops. And the bullets. So quite a few tick methods to do out there, and we haven't even got one of those created yet, but anyway. So also in this method, we're gonna need to do a few things above here. So if first tick equals true, do what's in there. And if last tick equals true, do what's in there. The first statement in each of these is if it is true, then it false straight away before doing anything else. And that goes both for the first and the last tick. Oops. If it is the first tick of the level, you might want to reset the game time. Game reset game time, which if it doesn't exist, we'll have to set that up. Let's spell that. Import game. And it's still got a problem. It's private in game, so you need to go in game and change reset game time to public. Or public static even. Oh, I can't use static because game time is not static. Alright, is that gonna Go through now, no. Alright, do we have a reference to game and no. So, how are we gonna do this one? That needs to be static. So game time might have to be static. Unless we can do this game time. No. Game time. Where's game time? Yeah, I'm noticing that. Alright, we can make it public static or at least static. Doesn't really need to be public. Reset game time. Save. Now what? Now what? Now what? That is static, so the... Well, why have you changed that? I just typed that any second ago. Or did I do game score, was it not? Yeah. Did get there in the end. They're variables, using methods and classes that don't exist yet. More variables. Alright, 1 second. So, after we reset the game time, on the very first tick, we're going to need another if statement in that to determine whether we've got a few other things to do or not. And then there'll be a switch inside here. But this one is game music. The game music or game sound will refer to get game sound. Game sound will be for the sound effects, but we need one for level music too. Game sound you be firing. Isn't it game sound in there? Sound strange. Alright, so copy these guys inside. Copy these guys inside. Change sound to music. music. Music on. Alright, so I just need to create music on it now as a static variable. Save. Obviously, you gotta find and do the comments as well, but get game music, set game music. Get game music should not have an error at this point. It should be returning a boolean. It is. We do need to find that. Control F. And then the third one in the list is that, but it's private. It needs to be public. And it needs to be set when we first start. So same as game sound for testing purposes. True. Grab the comments. Alright. Back to level, and we still got problems. I think game is a problem. Get game music is private. Public. Done. Alright. So if the game music is enabled, in fact it's not a switch, it's the if statement. If you do a switch at this point, you get errors. So if the game level number equals 1, the sound level 1, then you want to loop it. And you want to do that for your levels. Level number. Should be a level number in there. We haven't created a level number in there yet. We'll have to figure that out. Level number is a public static int. Oh, pardon me. And I'm sure we created them. Guess not. So put it at the bottom up. Level number. And then it's public static. should get rid of that. And we haven't created a sound class yet, so it's not going to find sound level 1 or the loop module. But moving on, 6 levels, 6 sounds. If you do this in a case statement, you tend to get errors, so I've had to use a bunch of if statements, but not the best way to go in a if, but it is only on the first tick. So we're not going over and over this code, we're just doing it at once. And depending what the game level number is, which is what we'll use to create the argument for creating a level object. So it will exist. If it doesn't exist, the level doesn't exist. So we need to create that sound class to get those errors out. Going back to level. On the last tick, it's going to be the opposite. We've got the last tick turn false as the first statement, but then it's going to be sound stop all sounds playing. Then you might want to play end the level sound. So again, we need another modular in sound and another variable. These all add up. But yeah, starting and stopping sounds at the start and end of the level. It's quite common architecture. So we need to understand this to build your own games with. This is a check to make sure that it's not already playing, but we have stopped all, so it shouldn't be. This is sound end of level. Dot is playing, which is another module which returns a boolean. And if boolean's false there, then it'll play end the level sound. If it's true, then that's not worked. But it will assume the end level is still playing. Alright, what else in there? Reset game time wasn't there, but I've commented on that. Right. Following the last tick, on every tick, after that last tick, before this, we need if game menu is null. So you look inside here, will be certain things. Something like that. I think we need to put a get game in there. I want to flip the operands. Get game. See if that'll do. Alright, the get game is probably another variable with the reference to this game. And Yeah. So in game, we need to set up a random variable that's public static called a game, which is a static version of the game we create. It's a game object. What we do is once we've created it in the constructor and initiate it, then we set a game to this, and then we can return a game uh, in the get game. Create method get game and save that. Go back to game. Should be at the bottom, but it's probably at the top. Return the game object. And the return value is a game with space, no space. Copy that, leave that. That saves passing it in as a value every time we have a reference to it, so we can always pass it through. Just put on the reset game time. Add a bunch of comments. Get game. Add the return. A game. So we should lose that error there with the menu. No, why is menu not? Still working on it. It's figuring it out. There we go. It's got it finally. And no, I don't want to flip the upper arm sticks. So, as I was saying about 20 minutes ago, 3 hours earlier, if the menu is null, there's no menu on the screen, there's a few things we want to render. And if the menu is on the screen, there's a few things we don't. So our animations in here, in the tick method I think it is, I'm gonna need a run. But I forgot what our animations are called, so bear with me a second, I'll just get that info. Where do we set them up? Lower cloud anims. New texture is going to be a render. So it's actually run render. Run rend. And then the upper class will be the same. And then the other renders, we got animated renders, we got render. But between them, we need to figure out how we're gonna render the we might have to do the upper class in another class, or we might have to lose them, but we'll figure out. But yeah, that's where you would take the render methods in the animator. Then you would take all the classes. That would be the end of that. Then the render. Where's our render class? In here, we are gonna render somewhere else. Probably first at this point, but it'll be game dot heads up display dot render. And then 2 arguments. Target G2D. Going to be an if statement. Checking both the level is not complete and game pause time equals 0. In other words, it's not paused. And it's not complete. Then we want to render the animations. So back to our tick method here. Grab these. And these are just going to be renders with variables. So we got a render, that'll be target. Then we're going to have an X, a Y, scale, and a width and a height. Alright, and then the same for the one below that. But obviously these variables are going to be dynamic and they'll change on depending on the time of the level, especially the Y. Alright, so in render we're rendering the heads up display, the lives, the score and that, player name. And then if the level's not complete and it's not paused, we'll render the lower class and the upper class. Right. Anything else in render? Quite a few. Just trying to figure out if it's in this if statement or not. No, after the if statement. We'll do a bit more rendering. So after this we need a if statement for show FPS. Excuse me a minute while I get a drink and pause like that. But yeah, show FPS is the next one. Alright, welcome back. Now, I realize we have got a show FPS in game at the moment. We must have because it's coming up. I think I can run this because we don't have a level in there anyway. Yeah, so game's got our FPS counter in at the moment, or rendering it out anyway. So we need to change that because we're going to put one in here. But let's find that anyway. It'll be under show FPS. One of the references to it. Well, it must exist. No. How we would determine, I think it's just in render, isn't it? I've just added it there, well, we don't really need it. But that should give us an opportunity to check something out. In here, I found a draw method yesterday deals with transparency and rotating the image. We just find this, there we go. So we need to set a composite. Well, we need an alpha composite to start with. So where are we creating things here? G2 setting. I'm going to create a new variable in there, alpha composite, and we'll call that acom, and that is equal to alpha composite dot get instance, and then it's alpha composite screen over, and then the variable alpha, which I'm going to create, and we need the G2D set composite acom, but we need to do that after we've drawn this image and before the set color to yellow, I believe. Alright, set composite, then draw, then dispose. Yeah, that should be it. Don't know about the set color, in fact we need the alpha, don't we? So float alpha equals 0.3. Why is that wrong? 0.3f, sorry. Yeah, because it's a float. Alright, so if you run that now, we should get a see-through FPS. Yeah. In fact, the whole thing is gone see-through, so that's not good. So we need to reset that afterwards, before we render the screen. Which is going to be these lines code again. In fact, we're going to have to do it before we render the state manager. And realize we've got an alpha, so use the same alpha. Put the opacity back to 100%. Already got it acomp. Do we need to set that again? Yeah, might as well because we changed the alpha. Alright, so that should run the screen normally, but the FPS should be see-through. Perfect. So we've got a see-through on there. I know it doesn't look very see-through. I could turn that up to 50%, or bring up the size of this, and that would improve what you could see there. But that is actually see-through. If there was an image behind it, you'd be able to see it. 70% of it. Right, we need to rotate as well. It's just G2D rotate, isn't it? Before we draw the string, G2D dot rotate, yep, and it's math dot pi over 4f, and that should draw the string at a different angle. Maybe even rotate it over and over again. It's rotated so much it's off the screen. Maybe we have to set the rotate back after the FPS. Copy. I think that's right. See if we find it. No. Don't know if my maths is right on that one. Should be able to just set composite. Try that again. No. I'll have to figure out the rotate. But yeah, these are sort of things we will need to add into the game. Definitely the alpha support for the clouds, which we've got an example of there. But yeah, a few other things might need alpha too, and a couple of things might need rotating. Alright, I'm just going to go in and grab a few of these images. Found the planes and the sources sprite resource. We did the 16 by 16 icon and the 32s. I'm just going to create a new 64 by 64. And this is going to be called PAS sprite. Not sprites, because we're only going to do one at a time, and we can layer them on top of each other, but these are going to be 64 by 64. Because we can't work with sprite sheets yet, and when we work with sprite sheets, we might as well work with animation as well at the same time. So let's work with single images at the moment. I'm going to replace the player image with both a player sprite and the enemy sprite independently. I think I just clicked the wrong one. Alright, so I want select all, delete, deselect, and I want to move that next to that one. Alright, so we've got a 64 by 64. Might as well grab the pink background because we might need it. Who knows? That goes in PAS sprite, doesn't it? Alright. Resize that just to save memory. Getting that. It's got that horrible border around it again, so let's do that. and that should be the bottom now. Right, I don't know if we need this pink in. I can't remember um, whether we're going to use the load bitmap or another one. But anyway, starting with the plane. It's actually on the sprite sheet, isn't it? Yeah, and we'll scale these up. So that's cropped us to forward 0. And I want to drag that over to pad sprite. Right, no idea why it scaled itself up. But yeah, so you can get all these the same sort of size. Looks good to me. Let me pull it back a touch. There we go. Alright, so we can get all sprites in the center row, that should be cool. I think the way we saved the Pac-Man art was just a plain opaque background on it, so let's save another file for the web. I'll do 64 by 64 in the right folder, and this is going to be player 1 sprite 1 player 1 sprite forward 1 GD1 P1 sprite forward 1 try that P1 forward 1 PNG. Yeah, that should work. Save. We've got that now, but let's change that in player. The player image P1, player lines, player image. So we're using this at the moment. Player 1, sprite sheet 1 for both. And we need to put it in sprites, but it is without the PNG. If we open up sprites, it's not in there, so need to find that. Wish it was there. It's in there somewhere. Forward PNG. Why is it not showing the did I do a save as? I'm not sure what's wrong there. Let's try we don't need to copy it over, do we? I mean move it over. We need to copy it over. Copy it. Paste. Alright, so we should have a new player 1 image now. Just to get it started. Yep, and we're still showing barns, so that's cool. The problem with this is the image is too big, I think, and it's moving too fast at that speed, at that wait. But yeah, once we get some enemies on the screen, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's a bit big. It's good that it's 64 by 64, but the width and the height needs to be different. I'm not sure we're getting them in. Game is creating a player at the moment. Yeah, game width, half a game width plus 10. Hmm. Well, the width of our player should be less than 64. I'll try 32 by 32. Oh, that was the X. Yeah, it's the X and the Y is 80 by 80. Let's try 64 by 64. See if that's too big. That's a bit better actually. Yes, I seen some code the other day in game because it extends canvas. There's a request focus on request canvas on canvas. So let's try that and see if we get the key movements in the menu up straight away. Nothing on the menu, and the keys don't work until you click in the game either. Well, that didn't work very well. Okay, we'll figure that out. But yeah, there's that. Our little plan. We really should have some sort of speed or movement on that. Acceleration, I mean. Yep. Alright. So that would be our player character. Just for testing purposes only. Let's copy that line of code. And grab the enemy character. Send Photoshop. Sprite sheet 2. And let's use Vader one of that. Yep. And just drag that to the sprite. And that does need scale. Alright. Free transform. That looks good. Alright, so that's one of the images for an enemy player. I'm going to save it the same way with a different file name. That should show up pretty cool. It's 64 by 64. And it's not P1, it's enemy one. No, invader one. Alright, so save that. Again, copy it over to sprites. Copy and paste. And the name is invader one. Okay, so now we're playing the enemy character. As you can see, all look pretty cool on the screen. Looks slightly different without the buttons on it, but yeah, that would be our enemy player, enemy class, enemy sprite. But that would be animated with the other version of the same image, which is, I'll find it, this one here, the Invader 2. Drag that one over to the sprites and resize. Alright, turn the other one off. That looks good. The black outline's coming up because that's actually a seafood layer. Looks slightly different when it's printed out. A bit more like that. So save that for the web. 64 by 64, and this one is Invader 1A. Yep, as part of the animation, or it will be. This will be 1A, and 1A. Copy, paste. I think that one's a little messed up. We'll see. I could do with that. I think our move speed is a bit high. Try 12. Pardon me. Slightly more realistic. Yeah. We'll figure it out. We might even turn it into a double so it's smoother. But yeah, there's 3 more images. We've got a plane and a couple of invaders. Copy that code down again before commenting it out, because that code will actually go somewhere else, assigned to some other variable. But for now, we'll keep the plane. Can we show bounds off? Just have a look at that. Where is show bounds? Must be in there. False. Okay. Just playing without the bound showing. Obviously, we'll add a few more animations to left and right, and Maybe use some smoke trails. It's going up the screen, but I definitely think that's a bit too fast for move speed. Give it a 10 for now. Last test and then we'll move on. Alright. Alright then. And one more image we need for the level, in fact. And that is going to be on 320. 341. Where we did this. So in the planes and sources, we got this background in the water. I'm going to grab that and the waves. And just drag and drop them hopefully. In fact, do I even need to do that? No. Back to planes and sources. Undo that. And just hide everything else on there. We don't need the islands, the clouds, the upper clouds, or the text. So it is a sea with the waves on it. If we do that as a level background image now, we can work from there. But this is 512 by 512, so level 1 background. Level BG1. We might need that. Save. And we've got sand as well, so grab that. It's pretty cool. And save that as background too. Or level 2 background, you know. Oh yeah, background 2. We'll figure out what level they go with in a bit. But these aren't the final ones. These need to be extended at least 10 in the y-axis. Number 2, isn't it? Alright. So in level, your level background would be probably rendered before the hood. But let's just check that how I've set it up in another program. Yeah. Alright, so before the show bounds, we got a show bounds? No, we're not there yet. Okay. So this show FPS in game should contain a string called FPS, and that will be equal to game.fps. lowercase for some reason. And it's going to tell me it's private or doesn't exist. I'll find the FPS in game. Send the run. It's the FPS capitals. Okay. I need to draw it out with the target draw, which we created earlier. Draw. This might be draw string, it might just be draw. I didn't tell draw string, did I? Just said draw. And then I want to put the FPS string. It needs an X. FPS6. PSY. And the color. Trying to think. Green. Color hex even. So 0 red. Lots of green. 0 blue. That should do. We need these variables created. Need the same for the UPS. And then it can need some variables too. And they should be a different color, so let's add a bit of blue to that one. And again, those variables need creating. I think show FPS and UPS might be enough. Show bounds. I think show bounds is a game object more than a frame object, so I might just move that. Yeah, I don't see anything in there that refers to show bounds. Okay, let's get show bounds is from anywhere else. For no reason at all, then it's put in there and it should be in the game. Alright, copy, delete. And over in game. Okay, so show bounds equals false is now in game. Alright, player's got a bad reference though. Because it was referencing it in another class. Alright, let it crash out. I know, I just moved it. It being there, so it's just game now. As it should be in all of them. Show bounds is little or nothing to do with the frame really, it's part of the game logic. It's to do with collisions, checking whether one bounding box intersects another bounding box, whether that's a box or a circle. You can do both, and Circles are definitely going to be employed in this game. Game's collision detection because we're going to be using invaders, sources, round circular objects, and we need to test their collision. So that should be fun. Using squares for the player, bounds, and circles for the enemies. So yeah, look forward to coding that. So we've got the FPS and the UPS being drawn out once we set those variables. And then we need, if you're going to put it in, a show game time, which is basically the same code. And again, it's going to be in game. And they all need to be either created or made static, one or the other. Alright, show FPS. That must be in game design at this point then. No. That must already be in game then. The FPS. The UPS is gonna be a sign. Where's that food? Can't believe we didn't create it. What if we did it somewhere else? No, gonna have to create. Alright, show bound, show FPS. He's running game, I'm pretty sure. Alright, show FPS, show UPS, show game time. Alright, well that is true. The rest can wait. Alright, onwards and upwards. Should do. Private, private. Public. Alright, that's get games out. Capital G on game. And again, let's use a different color. So we'll just do FE there. Alright. If get game time's not in game, where is it? No game time anywhere. Wow, game time. That's wrong. Game time is added to there, and the frames are set. You have to set up the game time. Copy, and that's a string, which is updated here. Time plus game time. Then just create that. It's gonna tell me it's not public static, so I'm gonna need to change that for private. See, I want to make it private. And I want to put it at the top either. Or the bottom. Public string. Done that one. Alright, these need to be started. Yeah, all of them. All the strings. Probably the methods too. No errors in that. And they should be gone. Cool, just those variables to create. Alright, level complete. Game pause time. Sure, we've got a pause time in game. Create a field, level complete. Tell me more about pause time. No pause time in game. You're joking. No, you're not. Copy that. Pause time. Pause time is an int, so that's 250. Public static int, yeah. Is it gonna recognize that? One more down. Game HUD is a reference to heads-up display object, which goes in the level folder next to the level class. But, that needs rendering on top of all the background and stuff, so we would render our background inside here before that, I think. So render level background with the HUD on top, because the HUD is not actually going to cover the background, it's just going to print out what's in it, leave alone what's not, hopefully. Alright, so that'll be render, what? This would be render clouds, which might just end up being, you know, game clouds.render. See how it works. Render the FPS, UPS, game time. What else? Alright. The render level background is going to be target scale draw. And that's going to take a texture. And we'll call that level BG. Yeah, level background, just for now. And we need a scale, which I think might be a double. We need an X and a Y. Right, now we need the dimensions of the image, and it's 512 by 512. And that should be it unless it wants a color. And we need to do a level background and texture. Don't want one of them. Thank you very much. Alright, over to texture. Did the clear maps earlier. Forgot to add the comments. And get rid of the return. Alright. So we still got the font sheet to do. Player one. What we doing now? We're doing background on level. Copy, paste, and change the name to level background. Alright. Now we need backgrounds coming up. Create a new folder, new packaging, and we'll call it level. Finish. So this will be level. And then we need a background. Did I, yeah, I did. Copy those over to level. And background one is the sea and background two is the sun. So GD level one, background one. just level BG1. Alright, so that's going to load the bitmap. Not sure if that's right or not. Or we should have just done the texture. We'll see. Save that. Let's try making that a double. Once a color, you see. Great. See if we can do, oh, no, no. 0, x, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Is that one? That should be a double. Great. Scale drawing render. Why has it got a problem with that? Let's have a look. Graphics. Render. Scale draw. Right, it's one with the int. It does need a color. And there's a draw bitmap with X and Y. Doesn't need a color. How about that? Just try 0, 0, X and Y. Oh, no, it's got a problem. Is that a scale draw or just a draw? It's just a draw, that one. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I think we need the width and the height. Which is going to be our game width and height, isn't it? Game. Game design 5. Yeah. Get main width. Get main height. I don't like the drawback. Great stuff. Oh, it shouldn't be private. Why not? Maybe we should scale draw. Why does it need to be private? It's just taken off private there. I don't think it's made it public. That's why I went for it. Alright. So we're drawing level background, we're drawing the heads up display on top of that background. Then we're drawing the lower clouds on top of that. And the upper clouds. Showing FBFs on top of that. Show UPS same. game time as well. What else? Show bounds, left side, right side, ground bounds. Yeah. So show bounds, where is that? We moved it again. Show bounds. Oh, it's gonna be another one of these. Show bounds. And if show bounds is true, then what? Let's set the color on the G. G2D even. Set color. Yellow. Another green. And again, let's be G2B. These are the draw rectangles. And let's draw a rectangle at 0 on the X. 12 on the Y. 5 on the thickness. And that's 5 on the width. And then the game height, which is in game design 5. Get main height. And that is the left hand. What am I doing now? Yeah, so draw left side on screen. Bounds. Do the same for the right hand side. That's going to be right. And that's going to be game width. Main width. -5 on the X. Y is 12. And the rest is fine. Just the X on that one. And we do the bottom. Yeah, do the bottom as well. Edge of screen. These are going to be, the X is going to be 0. Y is going to be height -12. Y. 5 on the width. Oh, it's 5 on the high, and it should be width. And 5 on the high. There you go. Wow. And that should be show bounds being drawn on the screen. That's we need to create a few variables so we can do that. The UPS X and Y was already being sent out. Turn game out for that. So we need to set up the this one as temp. And I forgot what the Y's are. We need a few of those. Game height -4. Oh, let's try that. UPS need the same. That'll be -6. That can be the same X. Then we need to deal with the game time. What is that wrong? So draw a string. It's a draw text. Oh, it's definitely draw string. Alright. And that'll be draw string too. And we need a G time X and a G time Y. X is going to equal 10. No. It's going to be game design file.get. Oops. On the X game times what should by 2. This 12. And then the Y is going to be same as this FPS. Okay. Doing all the comments here. Okay, I don't know. Quite a few variables, quite a few to go. Best not to be lazy on the comments. On we go. I need a few of these setting up. Level name, field, done. Enemies aren't created yet, so comment those out. Power scale, double. Set that up. Background start X, background start Y. Yep. Set that up. Set that up. And we're gonna need to plug those in. Background start X is gonna be on the render. Um, yeah, background's one word, not to start is the second word on that. Alright, so we got level name, power scale, background start X and Y. I'll need the background C wave start X and Y. Actually not plugging in yet, so we'll just create these for now. Worry about the errors later. Lower cloud start X. Lower cloud start Y. Alright. First two plastic. Save. How many more? These can be commented out because we don't have animation just yet. Or a HUD. Heads up display. Save. And then the tick. I think we might as well create a sound class. It's probably one of the shorter classes to do, but let's create that. Level name needs to be static. Yeah, because we've got quite a few sound ones there. These aren't created yet, so these can be commented out. We just left the sound ones in. We could just create a quick class and a few empty modules, and that should kick that off. yeah, just looks like the sound is needed now. Oh, you boring. Alright, alright. So as I was saying, if we just left the sound ones, then we could just create a sound class and a few empty modules. So might as well get on with that now. Let's close these down. Obviously, we've got a few more things to add to our models, a few more classes to the object model. But in here, I want to create a new class called sound, and that's going to be in a new package called audio. Lowercase package names. Alright, so we have our sound class now. We're obviously going to have to import it in level here, and any other class we employ it in, at least we can employ it. Alright, so these variables are wrong. That should be level 2 loop, level 3 loop, level 4 loop, level 5 loop, level 6 loop. And they only create like the renders in texture. They will load the audio from the constructor when required. So stop all, we need a method called stop all in sound, and that's going to be basically at the bottom of the class. So stick that in first, get it out of the way. We also need 3 other methods. I can see there play, is playing, and loop. Is playing is just going to return a boolean. Play is going to do a few things. A loop's going to do a few things. So, alright, let's create a level 1 field in sound. Yes, you can do that. And let me see. How are these sound objects created? Alright, so these are going to be public static sound. And then it's equals new sound. And the file name. So I've got in this one, what's this gonna be? In those, so one underscore soundtrack. It's giving me an error there because there's no constructor that takes that at the moment, but create constructor. Order. That's gonna be sound. No, it's gonna be file name, and stopwatch should be at the bottom. Just to save errors in the future, we're gonna delete these for new one report exceptions, and we need some comments in there. But that's level 1 down. We need a loop module just to get rid of that. And because it didn't show it me, I know it's put at the top. Oh, but at the bottom we need to get rid of that. Doing this manually now. Need a play and is playing. Is playing returns a boolean and play. Okay, save. Tributes. Okay. And obviously we've got a few more of those. And just change these. Alright. Hold on. Why have we got an error inside? Oh, it's not gonna return. Alright. In fact, it's gonna return an is playing. We might as well create that. Alright. So we're gonna play in a loop, and I've got variables. We should have we need an end of level. How do I spell that? Alright. No errors in level. Wow. Okay. And we will be taking enemies, explodes, bullet explodes, powers and bullets. That was uncommon. But yeah, okay, so that's the level class. Need a few comments on these, but what's that? Yeah, so as I was saying, we've got to get level name, which returns the level name. Level name. We've also got a set background, which sets the background number to an index. Determining that index will set the background as param index. Let's say get level name, set background, handle the first ticks, reset the game time, music's playing, loop the level music. It's the last tick, stop all sounds, play end the level. There's no menu, there's no render the clouds, or alright, run render is basically tick this animation, which happens to be a render, or we can tick or just run would be tick an animation that happens to be an image, because they are both in the animation class when it's set. Moving on, so that's the tick. And then we've got the render, including the show FPS, UPS, game time, game bounds, left, right, and bottom at least. The top will be HUD, and top of the screen, I think. We'll figure that out. It'll probably be rendered in HUD separate. We've got the background, level background, which is currently set to level background 1, which is, let's see. Alright, so let's try running that. See what errors we get this time. No class definition file for key import. Oh, we've not changed key import whatsoever. But if you ever do come across this no class definition found error, what you should do is pick your laptop or throw it out the window. No, I'm joking. No class definition means the temporary files in the cache of Netbeans have fudged up. And to fix that error, it requires a restart of Netbeans, but then you've got to go into your app data folder, local, Netbeans, Netbeans 8.2 cache, and then rename that folder in there. So it creates a new cache when you restart Netbeans, which I'm about to do now, back shortly. So just show you how to fix that and what the problem is. Files in this folder have messed up. As you can see, I've had this problem a few times. All you need to do is you can delete the folder if you wanted to, but I always keep them just for reference, see how many times it crashed. So I'm on M at the moment, so that's N, and when it restarts Netbeans, it'll create a new 8.2 folder without the old on it, which I'm going to try and do now. But it'll take a little longer to load because it's got these files to rebuild in here. 8.2. Hopefully it will start after that. Alright, back in a sec. So, after a long background scan of the projects, we're now back. Good 10 minutes though. When you do come across that crash, no class diff found. Terrible. Alright. Don't know how much code we've lost there, but who knows. Level seems to have no errors and leave does sound, so that seems to be where we left it. But whether it runs or not with the right images on the screen, who knows. So we're running slowly, very slowly, and we're creating, loading textures. And we've got no background image. I'm not sure if we're rendering out the level in screen, which is why I don't think that's coming up. But the player's definitely rendering out, and the FPS is as well. But whether that, I think that's coming from game. We didn't comment the FPS out, which is all that. We are rendering the screen out here, but in the screen I don't think we're rendering level. We're not. So we need to fix that now. Luckily there's some code in there already. Delete. Game needs a level created. So need to find that code. While I'm looking for that, sound. These also need a dot wave at the end, because we are going to be using wave files. And I don't think I put this in the constructor. I think it's needed. But again, these should be in a folder called sound, so we will get around to creating that. It might give me errors on the first sound object because this doesn't exist. But we'll figure it out. So we need to create a level field in game. It's a level object, which makes it a link. And I didn't expect it to be that easy. Copy, delete. And paste. And that has to be public static because we're referencing it from outside. Alright. And we need to import. When it was done, the rest of its background scanning of the projects. And remember, it's game design level, not utility login level. Completely different things. Right. And I believe it's in the constructor that we create this level, so we might have the code and it just needs uncommenting, but if not, we can always type it. Right, so it is in the initiate, and it's inside an if statement, so game initiate, and it's after the start, so we do need to type it. So if statement, need to check if the level exists already, or is equal to null. It's the first check, because if it exists we don't need to create it again. Level equals new level, and the argument is level number. which is a system that I need to check out. We need to find where level number is set. I think it's in the constructor. No, it's just before here. So level number equals start level. Whatever the start level may be. And why is level require no arguments? Yes, it does. And int. So that's where you are. Gonna create a new constructor, see if I can. Yeah, it's the same. Right, no void in constructors. That's what it's trying to tell me. Alright, save. And now these come up with those. I think these should be private. Yep, and the initiate too. Just think about it, you're not going to really want to initiate the level outside level or set up the level outside level there. Their operations the level should really deal with. And back to games errors. Need to start level. Right. And need to figure out where that's set. Set at the top, public static int, and it's equal to 1. So let's create a field out of that. And it should be public static. Okay, start level equals 1. Okay. Back to level. Now we've sorted out our constructor. It's going to set up level 1 with these variables. Should clear the maps in texture. It's going to get stuck on these. How are we loading the background image? How are we doing this? Level background, yep, we don't need any of these yet. So let's save the file and path name ones for a little while. We'll move on to those. But we've got quite a few here to deal with first. Okay. Don't think that's going to give us any errors, but you never know with Netbeans. It can even make them up. Okay. After status bar is created, we've got an error. Array out of bounds and draw coming from level. Level background is smaller than the main width, main height. I think it's 512 by 512. Yeah. So it was trying to render out the level here, and this image level background is set to, that's the wrong package, it's set to level background 1. Thumbnail's not coming up at the moment, but it would if it came up, say 512 by 512, not screen width by screen width. Away. Ah, now we need to figure out where we've got the background. Because that's not helpful. I think it's got something to do with the screen. It's clearly rendering the player and the level. Are we loading the texture right? Seems to be finding that, or it would give us an error. It's not loading right with the load bitmap. So let's try another. Instead of the draw texture here, we can draw image. I can find it. We need to set up the image. And now there's one here we can use. Here's the buffered images. No, we're not using this shot, so copy. And in the level, we'll just do the same as what we got for the player. I'm just going to nick this. No, that's 2 equals. Okay, and then we can draw that out instead. But we need to change this to this. Alright, so there's 2 different ways of loading that same image in. We need to render this out instead of the other one. So under here we would just do the G2D draw image. It's the one with the image observer. And X, Y, width and height. So it's got that. We want 0, 0. And 512. 512. No. For the image observer. So if they both were to draw now, this one would draw on top anyway. And it seems we didn't get any errors from drawing that before. Now we set the width and the height right. Let's just try this. Away! That's pretty cool. Around width and height, but it's pretty cool all the same. So now we have an error now. We got a problem with that. Because we drawn it on the G instead of the render, then we can have problems there. Less in screen. Render the level first. But I don't know if that's possible. Sometimes things have to be in a certain order. Let's try that. Now the plane is flying over the water. Oh, it looked great. So lower clouds would have to be rendered first before the plane. And cut off the screen again now. Yeah, this should be a wide scroll. Let's see if we can fix the width on this. Level 512 is game design 5 dot get main width 5 dot get main height. Let's try that, see if it stretches to the screen or tells us out of balance. Pretty cool. We still got the 6 off there, so we need to check that on the width. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the orange really sets it off. When we've got the clouds, the enemies, and the islands, and the wire scrolling, that will be pretty cool. You could dodging bullets all day long. Big green enemy invader bullets. But yeah, this is how far we got with level 1. We'll probably still need a menu system in to get to level 1 and figure out a way to end level 1 and start level 1. But yeah, as you can see, it looks a bit like 1942 clone, which is exactly the look I was going for. But yeah, those waves have come out. A lot more impressive than I thought. But that's another thing we'll have to do. It's gonna be here, instead of just draw the image. Don't need to waste resource on that. It's gonna be then G2D. Better just copy that. Is it G2D? No, we're going to be animating the clouds, aren't we? But if we was to make a static version of the clouds, no clouds, we'd render that on top. No, in fact, what am I doing? We do need a G.draw. This is not background image, it's waves. Here, clouds, islands, waves. So it will be sea waves. Sea waves. And we need to set that, don't we? It's probably in here. The initiate. Where all the other images are set, so I'm going to move that one to the initiate too. Just to keep it clean. Copy. There's initiate. Okay, so be one of the first images. Here. And then we can get rid of the sea waves, not wave, and just save them out as images and drag them over. So get rid of the sand and get rid of the background color. And these are the what you call them? The waves for the water. Let's see if I can scale them. I can. Leave them there for now, but yeah, let's just print out a version of that. Save for web. Save. Okay, see that's got the waves included at the moment. We'll need some separate ones too, and this is going to be sea waves. Let me just grab that, save, and then the sun waves, which are not showing up for some reason. Right, sun. Right, it's because they're very dark. Yeah, I can barely see those. Can't even see them. Um, sun waves. Yeah, I don't know why they're not showing up. Anyway, so we need the files. File name. Sea waves. It needs and that's going to be level and sun waves. I just need to copy them. Close that cache. Copy and paste. Okay, so that's the sun waves. There's sea waves. When they're laid on top of this, we need to change these to the plain ones without the waves. Alright, so these need to be a background 1A and a 2, just plain sea texture. So let's do the sun. That's the sun, normal. Save. 2A. And the wall. I just add a pattern texture to that and it turned out pretty cool. You just gotta get the right blue. So you label things 1A and 2A when you mess up. That's how you can remember next time that you messed up. So save. I probably didn't remember that it was supposed to be separate layers. I was just messing about. So, alright. Now I need to copy them. And it's 1A and 2A. Copy. Paste. Excuse me. So we need 1A. We need to render out the sea waves image on top. Should be that one. Okay. We'll create X's and Y's for these, and we'll do something dynamic with the Y, and maybe the X on the waves. The background of the on the Y of that should be set with the time, at the level time, but these should be set quite random. Let's just see if that shows up. Hope we get an error. Lovely. Alright, so we still got a bit of a dodginess on their side, but these waves are coming up pretty cool. One thing I would add to the waves though is I would put opacity on the waves, just so you can see that background image a little clearer and the waves a little less, more blended in. If we go back to, I think it was game, in the render, find it. Yeah, we had this opacity setting, didn't we? So we set the composite before we drew it out, and then we set the composite back afterwards. If we do that with the waves, we might be in luck. Oops. And then we need to import alpha composite. Right. So in theory that should draw the proper alpha, but whatever comes after this I'm not sure will be anything greater than 30% visibility if we don't get an error. See, the player's gone to 30% now, but this is how we control the opacity of the image that's coming through. We don't want the player at 30%, but we might want these waves a bit less, and less static as well. Let's sort that background image out. Plus 20. And these need an X and Y dynamic. I'm going to sort them in a minute. But let's set the composite again back to what it's supposed to be. Alpha to 1. Try that. Level. After the waves. It'll be after the lower clouds, won't it? It's going to be reset alpha. Before we let it render anything else, so I should deal with that. Hooray! So that's all cool. But now let's add some time to these waves. Do the X. Time. Or we could just create a variable. In the tick. time equals 0. Really bad way of doing this. Copy time plus plus. And then we have to create it outside of here, so we'll call it level time. And we'll increase it slowly with an if statement. We'll only increase it if this statement is true. Let's our system. Current time milliseconds. So we get the logic right on this. Over 450. Percentage to 25 is equal to 0. Then increase the level time. So that won't do it every tick, but it will increase it every so often. And then we can use that in the X and Y. Create field. Save. Grab the level time. Back to render. So we'll just straight add the level time to Y. But to the X, we don't want it moving that much, so level time shift by 25, I think. Let's try that. Now that should move the waves along, but it might be a bit quick. And that time's not updating for some reason. Alright. Maybe because it's not set at the top. Take that out first time. They did move a lot, I think. They're supposed to be moving every tick. Level is not being ticked. Why is level not being ticked? Because we're not told it to tick the level. We told it to render the level in screen. But we're not ticking the level. That's why we're not getting errors from sound that it can't find the sound files, because we're not ticking it. Where's ticking game? Alright, so game. Ticking game. Should do a few things in game that we're not doing. But yeah. Ticking game. We're doing a state manager tick in here. After the input tick. Which is an object we have not created yet. And state manager tick would actually have a level tick inside of it. So copy that. bring that level tick to game temporarily and comment that out for later. Okay, now we're updating. Now that time will move the waves, but how fast? Who knows? Don't know. We've got a null pointer now. Guess where the null pointer is? Sound. No, it's in center. Is it ticking before it's created the level? Yeah. So we don't start until levels created. Simple as. Crazy. Here we go. Try again. Should say initiate game. So again. Still not got the tick. Oh, we got a tick. I don't know if you saw that, but these did move, and they will move again in a few seconds. When that calculation that I've written wrong. There we go. It's true again. Pretty cool. Alright, let's speed that equation up. Is it level? Yeah, level time, wasn't it? Tick. Alright, just do it every 50. And then maybe drop the 25 down. I have no idea what this number actually equal to, but it equals 0 every so often. So that's a bit too much and not very smooth, but it's the sort of effect we're looking for. In fact, that could be about the right speed. Maybe moving around and the sea underneath it's moving as well. Could do the job. Getting there. Put some clouds in and then you'll really see it getting there. Yeah, can really get into playing this game already. And we're not even there yet. But yeah, that's where we are so far. We have level 1 background and the waves are moving. Which is something that we would do on the sea level, but I don't know necessarily would do it on the sand. The sand would waves would move with the background. The waves and the sea can move independently. They do need to be a bit smoother, so we do need to work that calculation out. But I like the way they move, you know, it gives an effect of animation. Although speaking of animation, we'll probably just have 5 or 6 different wave images and cycle through them, which might look just as good with the movement as well. So the moving and changing, fading in and fading out. But yeah, it might be handy to make a wave class just as a utility to the level class. But yeah, I like that. It's where the waves end up here at this point, so the image is not as long as it needs to be for this animation. But it's getting get some bullets and some aliens in. Let's just have a look at the background with an alien, an invader. Player. So we've got plane here, and invader. Is invader A? That's the second version of it. Okay. Um, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but yeah, I dig it. Yeah, definitely sort the edges out on that. Oh, there you go. There's a level class. That's really basic at the moment, but we've got a few things done today and start another sound class, so we'll get into that next time. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Took me a few days to build up the memory and concentration to get this stuff out. But yeah, I spent the last few days in Photoshop just designing the sprites. So yeah, should be good when it's all animated. You see the sort of characters building up and the environment building up. But yeah, add sound to that, a few bullets, a few explosions, and you got yourself a game. But it's not the only game, this architect you can do. We don't have to do Y scroll, we could do X scroll, we could do tiling and open worlds and stuff like that. But yeah, the animation is getting there so far, only very basic, but pretty cool. Yeah, we need to set these sort these bombs out at the top so the player doesn't stop moving at the top there. But his bounce back perhaps. Or maybe we'll set the bounds of the player a bit further down the edge of the screen, but we'll see. Gotta get some dynamics in there as well. But yeah, that's where we are today. Game design level 5. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you crackers for watching me for this long, but thanks anyway.